Leeds United 3, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1 in what was a superb result for Leeds United. But was it a superb game of football? That we are going to get into right here, right now. And the answer is, I will have to say, we have to take it with a little bit of a grain of salt, if you ask me, with that game. Because yes, Leeds United were good. Yes, we converted our chances. And yes, we scored triple the amount of goals that we have scored this entire season. And 100% more open play goals than we've scored this entire Premier League season as well. However, the two things you have to take into account. Number one, that is a 0.0 points Wolverhampton Wanderers side who are there for the taking. So, very fortunate side for Leeds United to be coming up against today. And number two, do I still think that our creative issues have been solved? No, I do not. Because creatively, you just have to look so far as the XG to see how far we overperformed it today. And that 3-1 scoreline, I think, actually was very generous to us in terms of how the game actually played out and how the scoreline looks like the game played out. I don't think we were as impressive as the scoreline suggested. I do still think there are massive, massive issues in terms of our creative output, because the 3 goals that we scored, 2 of them were masterful goals. A great ball by Jane Bogle. I know there's a little deflection on it, but a 30-yard picture of a cross into Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Off balance, cracking header into the top corner. Anton Stach's goal goes without any explanation as he rifled it top corners from a set piece from the free kick, And then the third goal was a gift. In all reality, it was a 10-minute spell in which Leeds United scored 2 magnificent goals, got 1 gift where they passed the ball straight to Anton Stach from centre-back. We come through with a very instantaneous counter-attack and, again, a brilliant finish, well taken from Okafor. So very clinical from Leeds United and very well versed. And people who are talking about Leeds' lack of cutting edge, they look towards the front line and they say, listen, you clearly don't have finishers in the team. For me, finishing has not been an issue with Leeds United. I don't think that is our main problem in terms of our lack of goal output. Our main problem comes from our lack of creativity. We're about as creative as a blank page of A4 paper, generally speaking. But the actual finishing ability, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, do I think he's the be-all and end-all? No, but he's definitely going to be able to convert you some chances. Okafor is going to be able to convert you some chances. So I don't think we have we don't have the most lethal front line ever, but we do have clinical players in and around there. It's just actually getting the ball into them in the right areas. And I do still think there are some issues in terms of Leeds United's creative play, because we weren't creating chance after chance after chance and creating gilt-edged chances that should have been converted. There are still issues. So I will say, first of all, just dampen your expectations. Don't get a little bit too carried away, in my opinion. There is still a lot that needs to be worked on with this Leeds United side on the training ground, because at this current moment in time, the players we have on the pitch are not creative enough, the system is not creative enough, and there are underlying issues with the team. That is the first thing I will say. However, we still got the job done. You can only beat who's in front of you. Wolverhampton Wanderers, yes, they were a very gettable side, but they still got us a goal down, and we still showed the character and the heart to stay in the game, to stay picking the ball around nicely, and wait our time and create our chances. And we did create the chances. We took the chances very calmly, very collectively, and that is all you can ask for. And all I can say is I hope that those 3 goals that we scored and the fact that we won in the manner in which we did, that can breathe, hopefully, a new lease of confidence into these players who are also, I do have to give Leeds United the benefit of the doubt again, who are also very ravaged with injuries. I mean, we picked up another one for Jayden Bogle today, which really was not good viewing for me at all, because I thought he's been one of our best players this entire season, in my opinion. And then from the wide areas, you've got Nonto and Dan James both out, so you're forced to play Brendan Aronson in right wing, who is not a right winger. He's not an actual right winger. He doesn't have the capabilities of a right winger. That's not really his game. Yes, he can run around a lot and he's very high energy, high octane player, but he's not got the legs and the pace to absolutely bullet down the line and back and forth. That is not his game. So yes, I do have to say, although I'm critical of his performances in general, he's being forced to play right wing because we don't have any other option, unfortunately. But as I said, man, I think hopefully that can breathe a new lease of confidence into the team. Hopefully that can breathe a new lease of life into the team. And we can start to see Leeds, pick up some positive form of results on this. I mean, I saw two players specifically, Okafor and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, after their goals. I thought there was a 5-10 minute spell in which they looked really, really confident. They were really, really on it, and they were linking up nicely and almost got a couple more goals for Leeds in there. But aside from that, again, it went back to base. Wolves were actually having a little bit of joy the last 20 minutes, created some semi-decent chances themselves, and the second half basically deserved what it was, which was a 0-0 game again, which, really reminded me, similar performance-wise, to the Fulham game at times. It's just we didn't have these masterful goals that we converted in the Fulham game. If we did, it would have been a different story potentially. So, as I said, things that you have to take into consideration with Wolves and Leeds scoring those 3 masterful goals. By no means am I sat here thinking, wow, Leeds are creatively amazing and everything is fixed and we're going to hit good form now. No, but I do have confidence and hope that that can instill a winning mentality back into the side and help us put some of these other teams away and just make our way through to January, where we need massive, massive acquisitions. I know a lot of people still want Daniel Farke out. For me, I think it's too soon. Either way, even if we lost this game, to get him out, I still think we have issues within the side, although he does have issues within his team selection as well. I think that isn't getting the most out of the players that we have. So it's a mix of both. I think he's been screwed by the owners in terms of who they signed, but at the same time, is he making the right team selection week in, week out? Not necessarily, but he got the job done today, and I think it's very good, and hopefully we can use some of the positive aspects from that to build and move forward, and hopefully have a good turn of results over the next few weeks. But let me know what you guys think about everything I just said. Are you Farke in? Are you Farke out? Are you feeling confident? Am I being a little bit too dour and realistic? Or am I being a bit too over-optimistic in thinking that things can change? I really want to know what you guys think. Are you upset? Are you happy? From the video yesterday, it was very mixed response, but very, very unhappy response. A lot of people really want Daniel Farke out. So please let me know down below what you guys made of the game. For now, though, guys, I will see you guys very, very soon. Actually, before I do go, I do have to say again, shout out to Statch. I thought he was really, really good today. I still think he's playing too advanced. I think he should be a deeper, more box-to-box, holding midfielder kind of guy. He shouldn't be that far forward, but I would personally have given him my man of the match, just because I thought out of everyone else in the midfield, he was more involved in our general attacking play. He was also relatively decent and composed in our midfield play, and he scored a rocket of a free kick, got the assist for Okafor's goal, so I've got to give him credit where credit is due there. But that's not the only reason. I just think he was probably one of our better players. I liked spells of Okafor and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but for an overall play, I probably have to give it to Statch. But